Welcome everyone to the NASCAR Miscraft Cup Series race number 2 of season number 1. We're here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in Indiana, and well, it's time to get this the second race out of 8 underway. And last week it was Denny Hamlin taking home the checkered flag for the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, and now he's mired deeper in the pack for qualifying here. We'll see if he'll be able to get back up to the front and make it 2 in a row here today at Indianapolis. But up front is another Toyota racing teammate of Martin Truex Jr. alongside of Chase Elliott on the front row for this 10-lap event around this 2.5-mile racetrack. And we'll see what these guys are able to do here today. 32 cars make up this field of racing machines here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, well, it was a very exciting race that came down to it last week in Martinsville. And, well, it's time to see if we can get ourselves another very fantastic race here today. And, of course, with this racetrack being as flat as it is and as big as it is, it can pose a very big challenge to these drivers. And we'll see if they'll be able to conquer it here today and who will be able to come out on top. 32 drivers are in the hat to pick from. So, but up front, of course, will be Martin Truex Jr. leading us down from the Auto Owners Insurance Machine. He was oh so close to winning in Martinsville and had a little bit of contact with the 48 of Jimmy Johnson on the front straightaway, causing him to overdrive turn number 1 and give up the lead that ended up, in the end, giving it to Denny Hamlin. And a little bit ways behind him is the guy that got into him, Jimmy Johnson of the 48 machine. He was also very close. Finished second place, runner-up position in Martinsville, and he'll be starting season throw number 4 here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll see if we can get up there and battle for this win. Little ways behind him is Denny Hamlin, your most recent winner, your only winner so far in the Miscraft Cup Series. Right now, not looking so good for starting positions for him, but he is alongside of his teammate Kyle Busch. We'll see if we can back up that really nice run in Martinsville just a week ago and see if he would get himself his first ever racing win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But nonetheless, it'll be very interesting to see what he will be able to do here today. As you can see, Willie and Welma up on top, ready to watch some exciting racing here today in Martinsville. And with that said, let's go and get your starting lineup for today's race. Row number 1 is going to contain the 78 Martin Truex Jr. and the 24 of Chase Elliott. Row number 2 is going to be Carl Edwards and Trevor Bayne. And behind them will be the 20 Matt Kenseth and the 42 of Kyle Larson. Now Kevin Harvick and Matt DiBenedetto right behind them. And rounding out your top 10 will be Reed Sorensen and Jimmy Johnson. Behind them is going to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Tony Stewart. And lining up behind those two will be Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Those are Joe Gibbs' teammates. Behind them will be Joey Logano and Ryan Newman. And then you'll have Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Ryan Blaney. Rounding your top 20 will be Eric Almirola and Michael McDowell. Then you have AJ Allmendinger and Brad Keselowski, 21st, 22nd. And Jamie Montgomery and Casey Mears. You're going to have Austin Dillon and Clint Boyer. Coming up behind them is going to be Paul Menard and Greg Biffle. And your top 30 is going to be Casey Kane and Danica Patrick. And rounding out your field here today, we're going to have Brian Scott and Kurt Busch. And well, there is your 32-car field, 32 pieces of them, 10 laps, long straights, tough corners. And of course, Martin Truex Jr., he is on the pole here today in Indianapolis. We'll see if we're able to keep that Toyota out front. And, well, here they come off turn 4 to the green flag here in Indianapolis. Green flag is in the air for Martin Truex Jr. He gets a great push from Carl Edwards right behind him, down to the lead, and Chase Elliott continues to fall back. 3 Toyotas now leading the field into the back straightaway. Whoa, Kevin Harvick slides right up the start. Not going to be good for his tires. He slid off of turn number 2. Truex leads, Carl Edwards second, then it's Kenseth side by side for 4th. Here comes Kenseth to the inside of his teammate Carl Edwards for 2nd as Truex led lap number 1. And he's not able to pull away. Kenseth right on his back bumper. Whoa, Elliott hard into the outside wall. Looks like with contact from Kyle Larson. And at the quarter panel, Kenseth to the inside of Truex. And Carl Edwards going to pounce as well. He's to the inside of the 78 car. Back out of the front stretch. Matt Kenseth is your leader. Whoa, they're sideways on turn 4. Hard into the outside wall. One car up on his roof. It is Denny Hamlin, your most recent winner, up on his roof. Toppled over at the start-finish line. And Matt DiBenedetto buried underneath the number 42 of Kyle Larson. Red flag is out on the back straightaway. Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards back there. And let's see what happened here. Coming off turn number 4, this is like the battle for 4th or 5th. Kyle Larson and Trevor Bayne get together. They make heavy contact with the oncoming traffic behind. And Denny Hamlin somehow ends up on his lid. See contact off turn 4. Larson back up into Denny Hamlin, and he got plowed by the 18 of Kyle Busch, and up on his roof he went. See it one more time here. Larson up into Hamlin, who instantly decelerates and then slammed into by the 18 of Kyle Busch, and ended up toppled over and on the wrecker heading back to the garage. Looks like Trevor Bayne and Kyle Larson will be able to continue. We will restart on lap number 5. What a crash for Denny Hamlin. And 4 cars out of this race, but 28 still remain. Green flag back in the air. Matt Kenseth gets a great start, but the 78 does not. 3 wide already in the back, and Carl Edwards now goes to lead from the outside lane. Somehow he's able to get that outside lane to work on the restart, and he goes to the lead side by side for third with Sorensen now to the inside of Kevin Harvick. Here comes teammate Matt Kenseth to the inside of Carl Edwards. Sorensen now pounces there as well, just like we saw with Truex a few laps ago. But Edwards hanging tough on the outside lane, but I don't think it's going to work here to turn 1. No, Sorensen's going to take the inside lane, and he's going to run away with second position as Matt Kenseth continues to lead. Kevin Harvick now coming onto the podium positions now as Carl Edwards continues to fall back. He's now into the 4th position, and here's Stewart to the inside of him for 4th. Continuing to fall back as we begin lap number 7 here today in Indianapolis. Matt Kenseth leads, Sorensen 2nd, then it's Kevin Harvick 3rd down the backstretch. That 20 car is beginning to open. Oh, trouble on the back straightaway is Carl Edwards. His teammate crashes on the back straightaway. That car got airborne for a moment and rests back down to the inside wall on the back straightaway. It'll look like contact with a 31 of Ryan Newman. Here it is. Off turn number 2. Whoa. Man, it looks like his car must have gotten a little bit loose there off the exit of turn number 2. You can see right here the slight tap from Newman, it looks like, got him spinning around. You see right here, once again, just that barely tiny little tap of the quarter panel got him turned, and the air got underneath the race car for a moment and got that car back up in the air. And luckily that thing did set back down, but nonetheless, we've got Matt Kenseth and Reed Sorensen on the front row. Looks like Edwards is able to continue, but 2 laps remain here in Indianapolis. Who's going to come out on top? Green flag back in the air for Matt Kenseth. Harvick looks slow. Contact already. Sorensen on the outside lane. He's going to take the lead down the back straightaway. Matt Kenseth falls to 2nd. Harvick now to 3rd. Looking for 2nd now to the inside of that 20 machine. The 94 beginning to pull away, but 5 car lengths between he and this battle for 2nd. Harvick clear for off Kenseth off of turn number 4. White flag in the air here in Indianapolis. Harvick trying to chase down the 94 of Sorensen. Oh, he slides in turn number 1. Here they come at the quarter panel, but Sorensen drives it deep. Now they're crossing each other on the back straight. Contact, and there's Kenseth and Newman to the outside wall, and Sorensen's going to hang on to it. Turns 3 and 4. Off the final corner, Reed Sorensen is going to take home the checkered flag here to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And what a finish for the number 94 machine. Reed Sorensen from Georgia takes home the win. And look at that slide off of turn number 1. He somehow kept his foot in it and dug down into turn number 2. And a lot of contact there with the 4 in the 17. Pushed the 20 and the 31 to the outside wall. And that allowed the 94 just enough leeway to come home with the victory. Checkered flag is up. And the 94 is your winner here in Indianapolis. And not happy are Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth, still stuck on the backstretch. Tough luck for those two as they were looking for top 5 finishes. Harvick trying to block and make his way around that 94 car, got into them, and ended up in a 2-car pileup on the back straightaway. Well, yet another amazing and quick race here for the Miscraft Cup Series. Reed Sorensen takes home the 2nd checkered flag from the season, and Kevin Harvick comes up short. With Ricky Stenhouse Jr. barely missing out on a top 2 finish there. As you take a look at the rest of the results, we only had 4 DNFs from this race. Carl Edwards was able to make it down to up to 26. Actually, as a matter of fact, we did have 6 DNFs with Kenseth and Newman stuck on the backstretch, but you can see Reed Sorensen, Harvick, Stenhouse, Stewart, and Truex. Those are going to be the 5 drivers getting points here today. Remember, it's still a little bit of a weird point standings. Only top 5 do get points in this format. Don't ask me why, I don't know. But yeah, so now we have 9 different drivers who have scored points this season, and Truex is the only one who's been in the top 5 twice this season from Martinsville and Indianapolis. Finished 5th both times, so 2 points for him total. And Reed Sorensen and Denny Hamlin, your 2 winners, both have 10 points on the season. Nobody else has been in the top 5 more than once, so we'll see if that'll happen, or see if that'll change come next week, or come the next race at least, from Daytona. That'll be a fun one. Daytona International Speedway. We'll see what these guys are going to be able to do. You see Kyle Larson, Matt DiBenedetto, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch all torn up on that lap 2 crash. And we're not able to make it very far in this event. But nonetheless, it was a fantastic race full of exciting racing, and we had quite a pretty decent handful of different leaders. Truex, Kenseth, Sorensen, so Edwards up there as well. But that is it from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The next race comes from the Daytona International Speedway, nearing halfway already in the season. And we'll see you guys next time, come Daytona.